What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here, and welcome to our daily show where we discuss the fourth stimulus check update, breaking daily news regarding our country and you, as well as the next two packages, the physical infrastructure package and the next stimulus package known as the American Families Plan. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe down below so you don't miss out on new updates, and hit the like button for us. It really helps out our channel. Multiple different things to discuss today, so let's just jump right in. The meat production company JBS that was hacked in the United States and paid a ransom of almost $11 million in Bitcoin is now being asked by the U.S. House of Representatives about why they did it and how they paid it. The chairwoman of the U.S. House of Representatives Oversight and Reform Committee is pressing JBS USA to explain why it paid $11 million in ransom to a criminal group just a few days ago. In a letter released Friday, Representative Carolyn Maloney, Democrat from New York, asked the JBS chief executive Andre Noguera to turn over all documents related to the ransomware attack and records of its communications with ReEvil, the group the FBI believes to be responsible, by June 24th. Yeah, the hacker group is literally named ReEvil. ReEvil. Yeah, I know, we're thinking the same thing here. Maloney writes, I am deeply troubled by this and similar ransomware attacks. Any ransom payments to cyber criminal actors like ReEvil sets a dangerous precedence that increases the risk of future ransomware attacks. Congress needs detailed information about the attack to legislate effectively on ransomware and cybersecurity in the United States. JBS admitted Wednesday that it paid $11 million in ransom to a Russian criminal group to prevent critical data from being destroyed. The ransomware attack temporarily disabled all of JBS's meat processing plants, shutting down the country's second largest producer of beef, poultry, and fish. JBS, the company, says this was a very difficult decision to make for our company and for me personally. However, we felt this decision had to be made to prevent any potential risk for our customers. Even so, Biden administration officials and the FBI have urged companies not to pay ransom if they've been hit with similar attacks, arguing that it will only encourage more cyber criminals to follow suit. Yeah, let me know your thoughts on this down below in the comments. There is a bill, or a proposal, I should say, it's not passed, that would make paying ransoms in this capacity illegal, and companies would not be able to do it. But again, that has not passed. That is just a proposal. The FBI has apparently recovered most of the $5 million in Bitcoin cryptocurrency that was paid to the gas pipeline hackers, which could be the exact same groups. They're both thought to be out of Russia. And President Biden and Russian President Putin will be meeting together here within the next few days to talk about this incident, among other things. The Texas governor has announced he plans to build or continue building the southern border wall between Texas and Mexico. Texas Governor Greg Abbott on Thursday announced plans to build a wall on the southern border while at a summit to discuss border security in Del Rio, Texas. He says, quote, I will announce next week the plan for the state of Texas to begin building the border wall. He also announced a border security measure, including the creation of the governor's task force on border and homeland security and $1 billion allocated toward border security in Texas. The governor says, quote, while securing the border is a federal government's responsibility, Texas will not sit idly by as the crisis grows, throwing shade at President Biden. The state is working collaboratively with communities impacted by the crisis to arrest and detain individuals coming into Texas illegally. He says, quote, our efforts will only be effective if we work together to secure the border, make criminal arrests, protect landowners, rid our communities of dangerous drugs, and provide Texans with the support they need and deserve. This is an unprecedented crisis, and Texas is responding with the most robust and comprehensive border plan the nation has ever seen. Let me know your thoughts on this down below in the comments. Do you think Texas should go it alone and continue to finish the border wall that's partially made already? Or do you think they should just leave it open? It's unclear how they're going to pay for this, if they're going to use it from Texas, their own budget money, or if they're going to use part of the billions of dollars in stimulus money that they're receiving from the federal government, the $350 billion that's going out to all states, cities, and counties. Now, remember that a portion of all the money going to all 50 states have to be used on programs, stimulus type programs, like state stimulus checks, county stimulus checks, mortgage assistance, rental assistance, property tax assistance, and utility assistance, among other type of stimulus programs. But they don't need to use all the money for it. So it's unclear whether or not they can use this for the border wall, but they might be, or they might just be using it from Texas's own money. But yeah, remember California and New Jersey and Florida even has announced $1,000 stimulus checks for teachers and some essential workers. California has announced a second round of $600 stimulus checks for the Golden State Stimulus Program. This is the second round of it now, going out to people up to making up to $75,000 in California. I will be having an updated video probably coming here within the next day or two on all these stimulus programs from states, cities, and counties that we know about so far. All 50 states are getting money, but not all 50 states have announced programs yet. Some of these states kind of take a while to figure out what they're doing, right? So, but I do have some kind of interesting stimulus programs here we're going to discuss right now. Number one, the Supreme Court has been asked to keep the eviction pause in place. The Biden administration backed nearly 24 Democratic state attorney generals, asking the Supreme Court yesterday to leave intact a temporary nationwide pause on evictions. The request comes after a group of landlords asked the court last week to effectively end the eviction moratorium put in place by the CDC to help financially distressed renters remain in their home amid the pandemic. The 38-page filing, the Biden administration argued that the CDC policy is a lawful and necessary step to prevent the spread of COVID-19 across state lines, which would result from evicted tenants being forced into homeless shelters or crowded living arrangements. The eviction moratorium is set to end at the end of this month if the Biden administration doesn't extend it, and if the Supreme Court says that they can't extend it or that they must end it. I will keep you up to date on that. In addition to this, mortgage forbearance will be ending soon for millions of homeowners who have not had to pay their mortgage payment because of mortgage forbearance that has been offered by the government through the Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac programs, where you can basically call up your mortgage provider, ask them for mortgage forbearance, and just basically not have to pay your mortgage payment for a specified amount of time. As you can see here, for many homeowner borrowers, the one-year mortgage forbearance date is quickly approaching, and both federal moratoriums will expire on June 30th, 2021. If you've been relying on a mortgage forbearance program to get by financially, well, you may have to start paying your mortgage payment again. One option is you can consider refinancing your mortgage also at a lower rate. You also can request an extension if your lender agrees on it to more mortgage forbearance going forward. So feel free to call your mortgage provider and ask if you're currently in mortgage forbearance. Now, in addition to this, no foreclosures on mortgages or homes could be extended until 2022, or the end of this year, basically. Foreclosures may be banned until 2022 if a new rule from the Consumer Finance Protection Bureau ends up going through. There is multiple different groups of stimulus money available for both renters and mortgage owners or homeowners that have a loan through these different stimulus packages that have been passed in the past. Number one is there is rent assistance available through most states, if not all states right now, from the third stimulus check package, which provided rental assistance for all 50 states. I just seen a comment from somebody in the last 24 hours that said that they actually got $17,000 in rental assistance available. So if your rent was, say, $1,200 a month, a lot of these programs will actually pay your rent for up to 12 months or even more in some cases. Some of these programs will also pay your utilities or even property tax as well. I will put a couple links for you down below in the description of this video. Number one is from the U.S. Department of Treasury's direct website, government website, for emergency rental assistance programs, how you can find programs in every single different state for rent assistance. I will also put another link down below on how to find mortgage assistance through your state housing finance agency. So you can click on each state and find your state's housing finance agency, which should be the group that can help you with mortgage assistance if you're whatever state you're from. So this is currently available in most states, if not all states, unless they have run out of money. There are also additional programs such as this one here from New York, which was just opened on June 1st. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo just announced $3.5 billion in assistance for renters and small businesses. Again, this just opened about 10 days ago. There's $2.7 billion additionally for rental assistance program in New York State. So everybody in New York could apply for this and possibly get this. In addition to $800 million for a small business recovery grant program for the state of New York as well. Now, this is in addition to the normal money that's out for all 50 states that is available for rent assistance and mortgage assistance. Some states, like New York, have announced huge $3.5 billion programs. Other states, like California, are using billions of dollars. I want to say millions, but I think it's billions actually. For the state stimulus checks that California is offering. California and New York seem to be like ahead of the curve. A lot of states haven't really offered this yet, but I will link you to a video I did recently on which states and counties have already announced stimulus checks or other stimulus programs that could put money in your pocket. On the fourth stimulus check package, as well as the infrastructure package, Democrats are wary of a emerging bipartisan infrastructure deal that has currently been announced from the Senate bipartisan group that has announced that they've come to a deal over the next infrastructure. And some Democrats think that this might not be a good thing for the Democratic Party. As you can see here, progressive Democrats are wary of an emerging deal on infrastructure being negotiated by 5 Republican and 5 Democratic senators, including Senator Joe Manchin and Kirsten Sinema in there, fearing it could make it tougher to get prized priorities to President Biden's desk in the future. The progressives are specifically worried that passing a bipartisan infrastructure package consisting of the most popular infrastructure spending priorities, such as roads, bridges, rail, public transport, airports, and rural broadband internet, will make it tougher to marshal support for a bigger reconciliation package later down the road. That bigger package could include many progressive prizes such as climate change, $400 billion for long-term care, and language to lower the cost of prescription drug pricing. Senate Budget Chairman Senator Bernie Sanders fired a shot at the emerging deal Thursday afternoon, declaring it falls short of what the nation needs, saying, quote, "The problem is this country faces enormous issues that have been ignored and neglected for a very long period of time. Even if you look at infrastructure from the narrow perspective of roads and bridges, it's inadequate." That's not me talking. That's the American Society of Civil Engineers. Bernie Sanders says that the climate provisions in the bipartisan deal are also, quote, "totally inadequate." President Biden actually just said yesterday at the G7 convention that he's at right now, he warned that climate change is, quote, "the greatest threat to U.S. security," and this is not a joke. President Biden says, "When I went to the tank in the Pentagon when I was first elected vice president with President Obama, the military sat us down and let us know that the greatest threats facing America were the greatest physical threats." He said, "This is not a joke. You know what the Joint Chiefs told us the greatest physical threat facing America was? Global warming. Quote, there will be significant population movements, fights over lands, Millions of people leaving places because they're literally sinking below the sea in Indonesia because of the fights over what is arable land anymore. President Biden is also open to a fourth stimulus check, apparently, as White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki suggested President Biden could be open to another stimulus check or a fourth stimulus check. This also coincides with Senator Bernie Sanders, who has joined more than half of the Democrats in the Senate alone that are pushing for not just a fourth stimulus check, but for monthly recurring stimulus checks to be included in Biden's next infrastructure package, although it is much, much more likely that it will be included in the next stimulus package known as the American Families Plan. There's also over 80 different Democrats from the House of Representatives, in addition to this, that support further direct payments or another stimulus check. And Democratic Representative Jayapal, who is the leader of the Democratic Progressive Caucus, which is over half of all the Democrats in the U.S. House of Representatives, which is about 100 different Democrats from there as well, also support a $2,000 one-time stimulus check followed by $1,000 monthly recurring payments that would go until 1 year after the pandemic is declared over. So we have a lot of Democratic support, including from both President Joe Biden, as well as Democratic members from both the House and the Senate that want a fourth stimulus check or even monthly recurring stimulus checks to be added into this next stimulus package, including all the other things they're negotiating right now, which is the fourth stimulus check, the Social Security raises, the Medicare expansion, 2 years of free college, 2 years of free preschool, and extension of the child tax credits, which are the monthly stimulus checks that are going to start on July 15th of $250 to $300 per month and are already passed for 1 year. They want to extend that as well till 2025. So I will keep you up to date on all these different stimulus provisions. I'll put the links for those mortgage, rental assistance, and forbearance down below in the description of this video. If you're on a mobile phone, you might need to click the down arrow next to the title of this video to open the description. Also, make sure to subscribe while you're down there and click the like button for us. It really helps out our channel. Remember, new videos come out every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can click this video here to watch my newest stimulus check video next. This bottom video about state stimulus checks and county stimulus checks that are going out. And this video about President Biden's Social Security raise to over $16,000. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks, guys, and I will see you in the next video.